Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is continuation of the Microsoft Fabric series playlist. In today's video, we are going to dive into the fascinating world of data management by exploring how to effectively use SQL analytic endpoint with a lakehouse architecture. If you've been following our recent lectures, you already have a basic understanding of what a lakehouse is. But today, we are going to take a step further and see how we can leverage SQL Analytics endpoint to make the most out of our data. So let's get started. So as I mentioned previously in previous sessions, we discussed the concept of lakehouse. What is lakehouse? How to create lakehouse? To recap it, a lakehouse combines the best feature of data lakes and data warehouse, allowing us to store all of our unstructured data and structured data in a single system. This sort of setup enables us to manage large volume of data more efficiently while still being able to perform advanced analytics. So in the previous lecture, while seeing lakehouse, we have covered how to ingest data into lakehouse by simply uploading a CSV file or using a data flow Gen2 for JSON files. So guys, there are multiple ways to get your data into the lakehouse system that we'll see in the future videos. So now moving ahead, we need to understand what SQL Analytics endpoint is. It is very critical component when working with a lakehouse. So when we create lakehouse, as you can see here, these are workspace. In the workspace, we have created this fabric lakehouse. So after creating this lakehouse, these two things got automatically created. One is semantic model, another one is SQL Analytics endpoint. So semantic model is something similar to the Power BI dataset. Now it is named as semantic model, and SQL Analytics endpoint is something you gateway through which we can interact with our data in the lakehouse and perform complex queries and generate reports as well. So why SQL Analytics endpoint is very necessary? So let's try to understand. Let's go to our fabric lakehouse where we had uploaded some data. So you can see we had created the lakehouse in which we had uploaded the data, which is customer JSON and product table. So with the help of this sort of data, we cannot query this. I mean, if we want to see analytical perspective of this data, then there's only one option, that this data needs to be queried, right? So for that purpose, we need SQL Analytic endpoint. The main advantage is its simplicity and efficiency. With SQL Analytics endpoint, we can run queries across massive dataset without needing to move our data into separate systems. So only one lakehouse created, we can run the queries. Everything happens within the lakehouse only, which means we save time and resources while maintaining data integrity as well. So to see how it works, let's try to see how to do it. So as we are in the data lake house, we can click on here and go to SQL Analytics endpoint from here, or we can directly jump from here. So let's go to SQL Analytics endpoint. So as you can see, we have schemas. Under schemas, we have DBO, and under DBO, we have tables, views, function, and scope. So in tables, you can see we have two tables. Those were created previously: customer JSON and product table. So now this does mean something very interesting, that we can run queries to this particular table and we can do our analysis other processes. We can also connect this table with the help of connection string we get from here. So to see the connection string, we need to click here, and this is SQL connection string with which we can connect these tables to Power BI or other tools. Now let's come back to the tables. So this Explorer, we can have schemas, and we have DBO schema. Under DBO schema, we have tables and other things like views and functions, and we have tables, and we can query to these tables that we'll see. So let's try to query this table. For that, let's click on new query. So just observe, after clicking on this new SQL query, we'll shift to data to query. Let's click on new SQL query. So let's write some query to see if it works. Select start from customer JSON. So you can see intelligence is also working. This is very cool feature. Let's click on run. So it is querying the data. It is taking time. You can see this is a similar experience we get in any SQL like SSMS. So these are the columns in the table. We can also open this data in Excel and also explore this data. We can also visualize the results. So if our query goes wrong, we'll be having messages like logs over here where we can have a lot of information about the execution of query and failure of query can be seen. Let's go to result. So one of the interesting feature in this Explore is we can have number of queries stored in the my queries folder. So if you want to save your query, which will be further used in any case, you can view your query stored. So if I create another query, so let's suppose now this time I'll query the product table. Select star from table. Let's run it, and you can see product table is displayed and query 2 is listed down in the my queries folder. We can also rename our query, duplicate our query, and delete as we want. This is a very cool feature. So another cool feature is that if we want to save this query as a view, so we can directly save it from here. So let's suppose I am fetching product ID and product name, these two columns. I want only this sort of data, so I can select the whole query and click on save as view, which will open this dialog box where I'll name test view, and these are SQL query. Click on OK, and our test view has been successfully created with the help of this query, and we can see that in the view section of the Explorer. As you can see, we can then now query the whole view. Start from test view, and bingo, in very little short span of time we have created view which would have taken a long time. So in the coming lecture we'll see what model is, like you can see this structure along with the tables. We'll see that in the coming lecture, and that's it. There you have it. That's a wrap for now. A comprehensive look at how to use SQL Analytics Endpoint with a lakehouse. By now, you should have a solid understanding of what a lakehouse is and how SQL Analytics Endpoint fits into the picture. You should also know and start leveraging these tools to get the most out of your data. So guys, if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Also, let me know in the comments if there are any specific topics you would like to cover in the future videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.